is also an important topic. It also plays very important role in chemistry, that is the chemical bond and the phenomena as chemical bonding. Now you must have seen like what is the formula for the salt, for the table salt? It is NaCl, right? What is the formula for the carbon dioxide? You will write CO2. What is the formula for, I say, silver nitrate? So we write AgNO3, zinc sulfate, ZnSO4, or somehow you can write many formulas. Now you have seen in this, there is a Na atom and a chlorine atom, different atoms, they are linked together. Similarly in carbon dioxide, there is one C atom and two oxygen atom just linked to each other. Similarly in this, silver linked to the nitrogen and oxygen are linked to each other, and further they are linked to the silver atom. Similarly, zinc and sulfur and oxygen are linked. Now the question is that how they are linked, or why they are linked, or what kind of linkage can be there. So that all can be explained by the process called chemical bonding. So what is chemical bonding? Is actually a linkage between atoms. That atoms is not always that the atom should be different, it can be atoms of same kind also. So that means it is a linkage between atoms which make them to link to each other. So chemical bond, and that linkage is called as chemical bond, and the phenomena is called as chemical bonding. So I think it is clear what is chemical bond. It is just the linkage which hold different atoms or the same atoms together, right? Now the question comes, what is the need to get linked? What is the need for the sodium to get linked with chlorine? Why carbon is linking with oxygen, not with some other atom? Why silver is linking to the nitrogen and oxygen? Why any atom is getting linked to some other atom? What is the reason behind? The reason behind the chemical bonding is to achieve stability. Everything in nature is just in a search of stability, because whenever any substance is stable, then only it can exist in nature. So whether we are talking about the water, you know, if you take a water to a height and you just make it fall, it will always fall down, it won't fall up, because by falling down it is losing energy means it is getting stable. So everything in nature needs this stability. So similarly the atoms need stability. Now why they are not stable, or after combining how they become stable. So I am just explaining you with an example. See, sodium has 11 atomic number, you all know now, and proton 11, electron 11. We did in the previous topic when I was telling about your atomic number, mass number, proton, neutron. You all know now. So you know how to write the configuration as well, right? So obeying the octet rule, you answer me that is it stable? How you will see the stability? First shell is completely filled, it can accommodate maximum 2 electrons and it is having that. Second shell can accommodate 8 electrons, again it is having that means stable. But the M shell needs more 7 electrons to get stable, or this shell should be removed. So that means sodium atom is not stable because it is not having the stable noble gas configuration. So how it can have how it can attain the noble gas configuration? Either it accepts 7 electron or it gives 1 electron. And I told you that it is always easy to, the smaller the number, the easy is the task it can do. So that means it is going to lose 1 electron, and when it will lose, that means it will acquire a valency of +1, right? So after losing 1 electron, what be the configuration? See, earlier it was 281, now after losing it will be 28, and it will no longer remain as atom, it will now become an ion, because number of protons and electrons were same in it, but after losing the number of protons and electrons no longer remain same. Now what happens? The positive charge exceed in it by 1 unit, therefore it will become Na positive, right? Now is it stable? Yeah. The question must be coming, answer must be coming in your mind, yeah ma'am, it is stable now. Earlier it was 281, after losing 1, it is stable. But you should know, yeah, it is stable, you are right that it is stable, but the ion cannot exist as such in nature, because if it is losing electron, so somebody should be there to take or pick that electron. So that is why it is combining with some other atom. So that means the atom which attained the stability by losing will lose, and it will combine with an atom which will accept that electron. So that is why it is combining with chlorine. See, for the case of chlorine, what happens? The atomic number 17, configuration 2H7. It has lost electron, and the electron which it has lost, it will gain, and after losing, what will happen? The configuration becomes 288. Earlier it was not stable. The third shell didn't have this thing 8 electrons. It was deficient in 1 electron. But after taking, it becomes 288. That means now it is stable. But again, it will no longer remain as atom. It will become as ion, negatively charged ion. So that means there should be a atom. If there is an atom which is losing electron to gain stability, there should be a other atom which will accept that electron. So that means that is why there is a mutual understanding, you can say, that it is losing and it is gaining. By losing it is acquiring the stability, and by gaining it is acquiring the stability. That is why they both are combining with each other, satisfying their both needs, attaining the stability and forming a bond between them. So that is the relation, that is the chemical bond which exists between Na and Cl. So this we will be doing in detail. I will elaborate it more, but this was just for an example to show you that why this linkage is possible in nature, and or how they are attaining stability, or what kind of need they are looking for. So that means, again I am just repeating the topic. Chemical bonding is the linkage, chemical bond is the linkage between the atoms. Atoms can be same, atoms can be different, right? Clear in your mind? Now the reason being, what is the reason behind the chemical bond? What is the need of the chemical bond? So the need is to achieve stability. How they are achieving? By achieving noble gas configuration. This you have already, I have illustrated in the example, right? So we can straight away write now, what is the need of the chemical bond? To achieve stability. That how? By achieving noble gas configuration. Now, how they are achieving that noble gas configuration? So there are two methods to form bond. The two methods being, one is ionic bond and the other is covalent bond. Ionic bond is also called as electrovalent bond. There is no other name for covalent bond, we use it as such. So there are two methods of the chemical bond, ionic or covalent. There is one more bond, coordinate bond, but that we will be taking up in a higher class. So for this moment, just focus on these two bonds, the kind of bonds. So one is ionic and the other is covalent. Ionic is also called as electrovalent, right? Now that means to achieve stability, to achieve noble gas, two kinds of bond are possible, ionic and covalent. So what will happen in the ionic bond? Ionic bond just involve the transfer of electrons. As I have given you the example, illustrated an example in NaCl. One will be losing, other will be gaining. Mutual understanding, right? And what will happen in the covalent bond? It occurs due to sharing of electrons. It will occur due to sharing of electrons. One more example I will give you, we will be doing it more in a more elaborate way, but just for a moment I want you to understand these terms. So I am giving you one simple example. See, if I have got one toffee and my friend doesn't have that, so he needs that toffee and I have that toffee. So if I give that toffee to her, then what will happen? I will lose that toffee and she will gain that toffee. So that means just a transfer of toffee occur, okay. So that is the ionic bond, right. So that means one lose it, one is deficient now and the other has taken that, right. So this is ionic bond. Covalent bond, see again I have a toffee and my friend doesn't have that. So what I am doing, I am just you can biting it and giving half to her and half to me. Now what will happen? That one toffee is mutually shared between our two. So that is a covalent bond. Similarly it happens on electronic level. right? So I'm just explaining you in a detailed manner. We'll taking up the ionic and covalent bond one by one so that it should be clear in mind, and you should know that how atoms are linked to each other and what are the process that is involved, how they share, how they lose or gain. So starting with the ionic bond, as I've told you, ionic bond is formed of transfer of electrons. Ionic bond is formed of transfer of electron. That means one will lose and one will gain, right? So how you will come to know that this bond will be ionic or the bond formed between these atoms will be covalent? See, if I give you an example show the bond formation in NaCl we have already taken. I'll take some more example for you. See, if I ask you to show a bond formation between calcium and chlorine, right? What you will do? First, write their atomic numbers. So you know that the atomic numbers, I told you yesterday, you should remember the atomic numbers carefully, because if you are not well versed with the atomic number, you won't be able to do the valency formulas or bonding even. So just keep in mind the all atomic numbers, at least minimum 20 atomic numbers you should be familiar with it. These are the minimum figure I am telling you, okay. Just look at the board how to do that. So calcium, chlorine, you are writing the atomic number. Atomic number means number of protons, number of electrons, you know that. Just write the configuration now. Written, and now see look at the valence electron carefully. Valence electron is 2 and in this case it is 7. We know the elements whose valence electron are 1, 2, 3, they are called as metals, and the elements whose valence electron are 4, 5, 6, 7, they are called as non-metal. So metals always, they have a tendency to lose electron and non-metal has a tendency to gain electron. So whenever you see such combination, so straight away you should know that they will form a kind of bond ionic, right? So now how you will form the next step, first do this step, because first you should know by looking at the elements you cannot judge that it will form a covalent bond or it can form an ionic bond. Just write the steps, it should be clear in your mind how to go stepwise and what is the criteria that you are judging that it contains the ionic or the covalent bond. So after writing it, it will be clear in your mind that the bond formed will be between them will be ionic. Now how to show the bond, right? See, start with the metal. So metal was calcium. We are starting with the metal. Write its symbol. Always use symbols while showing the bond formation. Now the valence electrons are 2, because whenever the bond formation occur, electron gaining or losing at that occur in the last shell. So only valence shell electrons are participating. Valence electrons that you call valence shell electrons as valence electrons. So only they are participating, not the inner one, right? So we are this thing showing this valence electron in form of dots or in form of stars, any symbol you can use for that. So that means calcium has 2 valence electron, and what the metal do? It lose. So that means it will be losing 2 electrons. Lose means minus, right? How many electrons? As I have told you 2. So it will be losing 2 electrons. I have written 2, that means 2 electrons. This E negative is the sign to show the electron, right? And after doing that, what will happen? After losing 2 electrons, 2 positive charge will exceed and it will become 2 positive. No need to write the configuration, but still if you want, you can write it down, but otherwise you can write the configuration there only. But still if you want to make your answer more impressive, you can write here also, right? So for metal it is done. Now come to the non-metal. Non-metal is chlorine. Write its symbol. How many electron it has? 7. Just put it like dots. Please, I am telling you again, don't decorate it with the dots. It is wrong method to represent. You have to write in a specific manner so that it should be clear just looking at the symbol that how many electrons are there. So you write it in this way, like if there is 1 electron, just put 1. If it is 2, then put 2. 3, so write it this like this. 4, then this. So it should be, means it should be in pairs. Don't decorate it with the valence electrons, right? So coming again to the topic, chlorine has 7 electrons. So we have put them in pairs. See, so beautifully done. So it should be clear. You have to do like this. So that should be very clear to the person who is looking at your bond formation. So what will happen? It has got 7 electrons. It need 1 electron to fulfill its octet. It will gain 1 electron. Plus means addition. 1 you can write or you may not write, because anything before the symbol, if nothing is present, that means 1 only. So whether write or not, it's your wish. So arrow means it will result into, after gaining 1 electron, now it will become Cl negative, because 1 negative charge will exceed. So it will be Cl negative and the configuration will be 288. Now as you do the addition sums, just do like that. So we are just clubbing all results. Ca has 2 electrons, right? Chlorine has 7 electrons. What results into? It results into Ca2 positive, Cl negative. Always write metal first, always write metal first, okay? Don't use it with non-metal, because we first have to show that who has denoted that electrons, because bond formation has occurred on the for the sake of metal only. There should be a donor, that is why the other will receive it. So again you will write with the atoms with the valency, then just shuffle them. You know how to write the molecular formulas, we have done in previous topic. Ca as Ca and Cl as Cl, and then this valency this side, bottom of the other atom, and this its valency on the bottom of this. So it has got 1, so that no need to write 1, and it has got 2, so we just write 2. Don't use plus minus signs while writing at the bottom. It is just for the sake that the metals come first, non-metal come after. Just mention there, not after crossing. After crossing nothing is mentioned positive negative, just crisscross them with their valency. So it becomes Ca Cl2. It means there is 1 Ca and 2 Cl. So 2 Cl means write 2 Cl, right? And the other thing, you don't need to write Cl this, because see why we have written this 2 Cl, I will make you clear. One Ca has given 2 electrons, right? But 1 Cl needs 1 electron. That means for the combination, the 1 Ca will combine with 2 Cl. That means these for donating 2 electrons, calcium need to bind with 2 chlorine, because each chlorine needs 1 electron. That is why the formula becomes CaCl2. We may write here also by multiplying it with 2, making it 2, but it will be more difficult. So it is better to write that whatever it want to donate, write whatever it want to accept, and then just club up. When you club up, then you can write the 2, 3, it will be clear from this side. So this is the way how to represent the ionic bond. And one more method you may use, but what I think that this is the most appropriate method to denote. Otherwise one more method can be used. Just crisscross it with the valency and then write Ca, Cl, Cl. Ca has 2 electrons, chlorine has 7. Just put it like this. Then show that this electron has gone to this chlorine, this electron has gone to this chlorine. So after doing this, it required negative charge and this required negative charge and 2 positive. You can even do like this, but I think the most appropriate method to show the bond formation, this will help you in this thing higher class as well. So just do this method, what I prefer, but you can do both the methods you like to do. So this is how